folks, Jim here. My wife picked up an electric fireplace from a company called Puriflame. When the house was built, we had basically a chimney, a hole installed in the house for future fireplace, zero clearance, wood burner, natural gas, propane burner. We weren't sure what we were going to use. So we ended up picking up an electric fireplace, and we're going to create this project and install and fill the hole and decorate it up pretty nice. So the first step of this project is we set it in place. You can see where I ended up pulling some of the trim pieces off that we had up here. Had some basic decorations up, and I ended up doing a basic sketch of the measurements that I'm going to need to start this project. So some basic measurements that I ended up doing, and keep in mind I am by no means a contractor. What I hope to do is build a ladder going across here. I'm going to build a couple ladders going down just to provide nailing support for the shiplap. We have some extra slate tile that we'll use for a base. We'll probably end up cutting this baseboard, and we are going to run our shiplap up to about here, and we are going to run it all the way up to the ceiling, and hopefully it's going to look very nice by the time we are done. Well, there we go. Ladder portion is completed. I'm going to pull this baseboard next, and we're going to make some cuts. I'm going to cut it over on this side, and then we're also going to cut it on this side and figure out our shiplap width and proceed from there. Alright, progress report. So what we ended up doing, simply because we had a lot of 2x4s from a previous project left over, we ended up doing another double ladder that we stacked on top of each other. And then in essence what we're going to do is use this 1x as a decorative face, and we're going to wrap completely around the sides on both sides, and then we're going to do some very skinny verticals as a decorative along the front side too. So I mean, we could have used for this base that the slate tile is going to rest on, we probably could have made a box out of a 2x6 or a 2x8, something like that, but we had some extra 2x4, so we just made a double ladder that we stacked. Alrighty, next step complete. We've got our base that the tile is going to rest on. We've got it wrapped in 1x8. We have some trim pieces that we're going to kind of position this way. We're going to have one up, one down, and then we're going to have a few vertical pieces just for decorative ability. We are making progress. The missus and I aren't killing each other yet, so far so good. Let's proceed. Alright, next stage of the operation, making some progress. We've got our base pretty much complete. We'll set the slate. We got it widthwise for 5 pieces of slate to go across. It'll be a little over 48 inches. We put a little bit of wooden bling on the front and on the corners. So once we get the slate in place, we'll end up picking up some kind of masonry mastic, set it in place. We've got our ladders all complete, and then next step we're going to hit Lowe's or Depot or one of the big box stores and pick up some shiplap, or we may even go the route of 4x8 sheets of plywood. We'll have them rip it down and kind of do our own shiplap, and we're going to run that all the way up to the ceiling. Some side trim along the sides of the shiplap, and we'll pretty much be good to go. So there is progress. We will keep you posted. Well, folks, we are ready to proceed with this project. What we ended up doing is we ended up going to Lowe's. We bought a couple sheets of 1/4-inch plywood, a nicer plywood, and we had them rip it down into 8-inch widths. We've got some basic trim pieces that we're going to go up, and I think what we're going to end up doing is these shiplap pieces are 48 inches wide, so we are going to measure our 48 and space it equally, obviously, and then we're going to set this trim piece in place and proceed up from the bottom, and just so we can be sure that we maintain a nice straight edge along this as we proceed up. So let the project continue. So what we've done so far is we've got two pieces. We had to buy two 12-foot lengths of 1x4 MDF. It's pre-finished, and we leveled it up. We simply tacked it in, and we're going to use that as a guide as we run our shiplap up the wall. So we've got it tacked down, leveled up, and I think we are ready to run these up. So you can see how progress is going. We're kind of primering where we need to now, just to get that prep work done a little bit, and we are proceeding north. We are proceeding up the wall, leveling as we go, and so far so good. Well, folks, we are making progress. We ran that shiplap all the way up. We have the 1x4 MDF board for our trim. We ended up caulking the inside edges, put some filler on some of our nail holes that we countersunk. Got it partially primed. We'll finish priming it, let it dry effectively, and then we will put a coat of paint on it, and we should be pretty much finished up. And we found a mantle that we like. We'll end up mounting that and put that on, attach it, and we will put the fireplace in place, and that should conclude the job for it. Well, folks, the project is completed. Lynn and I went from a decorated hole in the wall for zero clearance fireplace to shiplap fireplace insert that looks dramatically better than it did before. And with limited skills, moderate tools, including the fireplace, we have less than $500 into this project, and it dramatically improves the look of the living room.